There's nothing like recording an intro and realizing you were muted almost the entire time. I mean, I'll just, whatever. I'm Kavasco. Everybody, a lot of people on the channel probably know me, but it's Kobe is my actual name. But I'm just gonna preface before I get into all this. I know for a lot of my viewers, like, I'm just gonna give a little bit of a content warning, I guess, because I know, despite what YouTube analytics may say, a lot of you probably pretty young, so like, I probably won't be able to control my language as much, or just the content that I will be showing is just like probably not so suitable if you're like younger than a teenager. So let's get that out of the way, and I'm just gonna start yapping. This is like completely unscripted. The fact there's not really much of a reason for this video. I wanted it more for myself. There's been a lot of stuff going on, especially if you follow me on Twitter, you probably saw it all while I was at PAX. And so we got like a 50-minute long video from the Gaming Otter, and I'll provide context as to who that is. Turn this down a bit. This is a whole 50-minute long video, a whole lot of nothing really. I'm not gonna like directly show the video. It will be linked below. I'm not gonna directly show it because I don't want to give him an excuse to like copyright strike me, because he keeps hiding my comments everywhere else, so. But I think there's one thing I wanted to make clear before I get into all the context. You know, there's been a lot between me and the Gaming Otter, Nick. I don't know which one I'll refer to him as in this video. There's been a lot of name calling and finger pointing. He said, she said. And, you know, I'm not too proud of that, especially during PAX, you know, of all the tweets and stuff. But that's why after this, I just want to stop. I'm just going to try to, you know, put as much as I can out in this. I'm going to try to keep it limited to just facts, stuff we have screenshots of, that sort of stuff. So, you know, hopefully brains again, unscripted, probably unedited, hopefully not too long. Yeah, I guess we can just start, we can just start pretty much from what a lot of you probably don't even know who the Gaming Otter is, or you do know and you don't know the drama. So we'll just move my webcam out of the way here. I don't know why it's cropped on the sides, but whatever. So these are just my notes, but we'll start from here. Now, this is a whole thing I wrote for PAX, for context, or people that may have been seeing it in real time. So we're gonna come back to that, or maybe not. I mean, I can talk about it now. Basically, at PAX, you know, I had this as my Street Pass message, trying to let people know about what happened. I was like, this was the context, basically, so they weren't just thrown into it. So basically, what you have to know, Gaming Otter, formerly known as Street Pass Princeton, as to my understanding, was, well, I got a message from them around this time last year, I want to say. I mean, the date's here, it's next month, it's almost been a year, October, and they messaged me about their panel, their Street Pass Live panel, and it was kind of a back and forth conversation. You know, I can go down to the screenshots here that I included as context. They first messaged me on Twitter, and, you know, we only talked for about a day, and basically, you know, there wasn't anything particularly wrong about the conversation. It just, the vibes were off. I didn't feel very comfortable, is what you gotta know. So, you know, he tried to call me right away. I remember it's like, that was a little weird. I'm not down for that. And then, you know, he wanted me and Tomodachi life, and it just feels like, it's like, oh, okay, I thought we were just talking about the panel, and then like messaged me immediately, good morning, and then the little bit of context of thing that made me, all of this is like whatever. It's like, it's really whatever. I don't want my words to get taken out of context, because that happened a lot in the video. But basically, you know, I posted a picture on Twitter, and, you know, he replied to it calling me pretty. I'm like, well, okay, so this person who only has messaged me like for one day and is like tried to call me, immediately messaging me on waking up, and is also like 12 years older than me. I'm like, you know what? I don't vibe with that. I didn't feel comfortable. So, you know, I messaged him and said, you know, I don't think I'd feel comfortable with this panel, and I blocked him. And, turn that down a bit for myself. And, you know, there's nothing like inherently wrong with any of that. It's just, it didn't sit well with me. So I was like, I don't want anything to do with this person. It feels a little wrong. It feels weird. I'm not comfortable. And, you know, I was thinking about like, oh, maybe I was too harsh. And then immediately after this, immediately after I blocked him, he posts on Twitter posting about, just how sad life is, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to like disparage him too much or make him seem, you know, like pathetic or whatever. But basically, he posted on Twitter. The links are here. You can find this document in the description and all the links therein. I can't click on this right now because I'm blocked. If I try to go to this, it will not show. So basically, this to me, like him posting that an hour after me blocking him was like, oh, I made the right decision. This is weird. So that's our context. And we had talked a little bit about speedrunning, and then 2 months later, so I blocked this person in October, and then 2 months later, I get a bunch of YouTube notifications, and they're from Gaming Otter. I'm like, well, that's weird. I told him I don't want anything to do with him, and now he's doing this. And of course, this is where we come to the thing where Gaming Otter constantly says, it's all about protecting my world record, or not wanting to compete with him. Now, quite frankly, I mean, obviously you're just gonna take my word for it, and oh, he doesn't like taking my word for anything. That was a thing in the video as well. But if he didn't go out of his way to like tag me on YouTube and all that, I would have been annoyed, but like it would have, I couldn't do it. Like there's no like he can run the game if he wants to, right? Like, if he just showed up one day with a world record and find me and didn't say anything about it, that's a lot different than doing this tweet, right, or this post, sorry, on YouTube right here, like, pinging me and trying to, like, butter up to me. I'm like, that's weird. That doesn't feel right, you know? So I'm like, I'm concerned. I'm like, well, that's weird, but, you know, we trade the record back and forth for a while. I'm willing, again, I compete with him for a while, and this all goes on for a bit. Him and his brother are commenting on my YouTube videos, saying all this shit about how I'm not talking to Gaming Otter and how I'm doing him a disservice or not giving him credit for a new strat, yada yada yada. I don't think this is as important. This section was me trying to prove that this account was Robert, Nick's twin brother, who was a lot worse, but we're not here to talk about him. You know, and I ended up hiding comments from Gaming Otter on my channel, and I don't know how to get them back, but that's why I didn't really mention them there. I try not to mention stuff in these documents that I don't have hard proof for. This is him commenting on Miwi. So Miwi was the world record holder in Find Me 2 at the time. This is him commenting on Miwi's stuff. And just asking a question that is phrased a little mean. Especially Robert was like, oh, you hacked your system? And they're talking about how we... how do I phrase this? How we use homebrew to do speedruns because we don't have, like, 10 3DSs, and how that is allowed by the rules. And the thing is, I don't want to... A lot of this is going to be talked about in... Like, I mentioned it in my notes here based on his video, so I don't want to get too... I'll come back to a lot of this stuff, I think. You know, basically, this is proving... And then he had this whole thing where he tweeted, like, 20 different times, more like 10 times, about how my me doesn't have a homeland. And this is said in his video somewhere, but I'm just going to say it now. This is before we knew of certain homebrew tools, and I was forced to do save editing instead of street passing myself 10 times in a row, which we didn't know how to do back then last year. So my me had a full four-letter name and a one-character homeland, which was save edited to be hacked. And compared to a one-character name, so in Find Me speedruns, we use a one-character name, like a period or just one letter, and we use the homeland Peru because it's 4 characters. That's a total of 5 characters. Now, if you notice, KOBE plus the one character homeland is 5 characters. So it was a negligible difference if there was any. From what we could tell, Mimi and I, there was no benefit to it besides being on an even playing field. And I changed it. He mentions in this video that I changed the homeland to be S from Peru afterwards because I was cheating. And also so they would hop off and just stop bothering me about it. It was really concerning when you see like 10 tweets complaining about it. I'm like, why is, especially this one in all caps, I'm like, shit. And then MeWe ended up getting a save file of S from Peru, and I'm like, oh, can I have that, please? So I can do runs with S from Peru instead. And they said, sure. So I was able to save edit S from Peru in, and any of you who've seen my records from last year know the reign of S from Peru. Fun times. And that's, you know, I just wanted to use it so they would stop bothering me, and it does feel more legit. It was never against the rules what I did, but, you know, and then I competed for a bit with S from Peru. Basically, he just had a problem with me modifying my system. And, you know, speedrunning Street Pass games is basically impossible if you don't have a modified system or if you don't have like 10 of them. No rules against either of them. This section is a little bit of a poll. Basically, he moved on to Find Me Too, and then he started beating only my times and, like, stopping after beating my times and then pointing it out on Twitter. Didn't mention me specifically. It just felt weird for me. I admit it's a little circumstantial. So I'm gonna move past that. And then there's this. So I went to a tournament in January this year called Luminosity Makes Big Moves. It was in New York, and I didn't really say anything about it on Twitter. And I guess we're skipping ahead again. At 22 minutes in the video, he mentions that I messaged speedrun.com and I said this was a private event. It was his words that he is saying that I said this is a private event. In here, all I say was I did not publicly share that I was going. Okay, and he tries to use this VOD, this video of me competing at LMBM as a sort of gotcha. It's like, you agreed to be in this public event. And this VOD was only posted like a day before this tweet. Like, he saw it so fast. And to be fair, he is subscribed to VG Bootcamp. But just the fact that he's using that, something posted so quickly with my name in it, is like, that doesn't help his case. And then he says, I emailed speedrun.com saying that I told them this is a private event. I'm just going to show you my support ticket. All I did was send them this Google Doc. Everything you see here is what speedrun.com had, and they asked for some additional information. This is the only conversation I had with, this is the only conversation I had. Sorry, I got distracted by music. This is the only conversation I had before the first ban with speedrun.com. This is all that there was. Starting to get a bit dark in here. I didn't say it was a private event. I linked them. I'm gonna click on it, even to prove it. It's the same document. All I said here was that I didn't publicly say I was gonna go. Right? And so him doing this reply was really concerning to me. And this is what, this and what came after, mainly this, hey Rios, is what I considered to be like the, whoa, okay, now I'm concerned. Before this moment, I had no plans of doing anything. But this is where I was like, this is weird, right? And then I didn't even know about this until I went to GDQ. And my friends and I were in a hotel room, and I was telling them about all this. And we saw this comment on my AGDQ run. And I was like, well, why is he commenting on my AGDQ run? And then we found this tweet, and my friends, everybody I was talking to was like, listen, you should do something about this. And before that, like, I was like, well, I don't know. Everything I have feels very circumstantial. And it still is, but, you know, when it's brought all together, I was like, okay, you know, I'll listen to my friends, and I'll at least send it all to speedrun.com. I didn't want to make a big stink about it. I wasn't going to post it publicly because I didn't think it was worth posting publicly. I didn't want to go on this whole witch hunt cancel thing. So I sent it to speedrun.com. Oop, that's for later. I sent it to speedrun.com. This is what I sent to them. And then they banned him for a little bit. Around April, I think. Or the end of March. So that's the context for everything. This is later. That's the context for my experiences with him. Basically, he made me really uncomfortable. This is the Google Doc that shows everything I had of him. You can decide for yourself. And that's how it all started. And that's how I sent the support ticket. And that's how he got banned initially, and then he got unbanned, and then things kept going on for a bit. I was like, well, that sucks. You know, I felt justified for a little bit, and then, you know, we just kept going for a bit. But after I got banned, all this stuff happened, and recently culminated, I don't know certain words for some reason. It all came together at PAX, where things kind of came crashing down, and we had this whole back and forth of calling each other's names or whatever. So, I guess the best way to explain it would just be to go into this. This is me just writing down notes about his video and what timestamp it was. Again, I'm not gonna show it. It will be in the description. Right away, he spends the majority, or like it's a common theme, I guess, is him saying that this is all because I want the world record. It's never been about the world record. It's about me feeling unsafe and just uncomfortable, really, to, you know, do Street Pass speedrun content online and in person. Because, you know, there was people coming into my Twitch chat sometimes saying weird shit. But that was never used as evidence. We can't link them to you, obviously. And, you know, all the comments that you and Robert did on my initial YouTube videos at the start of all this, that just made me feel really uncomfortable. And I was like, you know, I sat on that for a while, and eventually my friends told me I should do something about it. So I was like, you know what? I'll just put together what I have, and this is all I sent them. Everything you see here are my words that were, except for the top, because this was all added at PAX. These were the exact words I used for speedrun.com. So they judged that based on that. I didn't email them. There's no secrets here. That's what I sent them. So this video talks about me, Street Pass Love's owner Shane, who I didn't even know his name was Shane, by the way, and I barely talked to, which I'll show, and Evo, and I tried to keep their identity private. You know, they were blacked out in in this document. Their stuff is blacked out. So I'm gonna try to refrain from saying their name as much as possible, because they don't deserve to be hounded about this for their experience with Gaming Otter. I think that's stupid. So we'll just go, and again, I'm going off memory now, so I'm just gonna go off the points in general. I understand that that's like not the most thorough thing, but it was a 50-minute long video with a whole lot of nothing, and I remember pretty much the important things. And again, the timestamps, I wrote down the timestamps so you can confirm what I am saying is relevant. He immediately brings up this thing from 7 years ago that I was notified of. Somebody reached out to me and linked me this video from 7 years ago. And I talked about it briefly on my Twitter. It was a stream from 7 years ago on Etika's channel with somebody called Triforce. And I watched the video when I was at PAX. And, you know, before I watched the video, I at least, like, I think I did one tweet about it. I was like, well, somebody just sent me this, and I haven't got the chance to watch it yet, but it's pretty concerning what I'm hearing. I said I didn't get the chance to watch it yet, and I went and I watched it. And I ultimately deemed that I didn't want to link it in any of these documents, because I didn't like it. It's 7 years old, and it has a lot of stuff that I don't think is relevant, or should be used against somebody in the context of 2024. And the only relevant thing there was, don't want to say evidence, just signs of a pattern of behavior for talking and wanting to get people out to PAX, which we'll get into. But I didn't end up linking that video in any of my documents, nor did I send it to speedrun.com, because I didn't think that video was appropriate. I only mentioned it in like 1 or 2 tweets, so I just want to make that clear. Nick felt the need, Gaming Otter felt the need to bring it all up, and that sort of thing. So hold on, I want to get something ready. He felt the need to bring all that up. I didn't think there was a need to bring it up. I didn't think he would. I did mention it once, and I did mention it with the context that, hey, I don't know how reliable this is. So he took it as his whole thing, and I specifically didn't use it in the documents or anything. And it's not linked in either of these documents, as far as I remember, at least. Let me click. This is tweet. This is Google Doc, before I, you know, put my shoe in my mouth and say something that's wrong. Nope, that's right. I didn't link it. This is the document that I was sending out in my Street Pass at PAX. It wasn't linked anywhere. I wasn't trying to show people that 7-year-old video, because I thought it was wrong. There was a lot of stuff like homophobia in it that is not okay. And so I was like, this video it has some stuff, but it didn't feel right. I wouldn't feel comfortable using it. He goes on for a bit, talking about the record and how I'm using the person, the minor, in the context of the upcoming screenshots, and that I manipulated them. And then he says, I think somewhere I said that he's like big person in Street Pass, and he's trying to like say like, I am not part of your Street Pass community. In his Twitter bio, he says president of Street Pass, and he goes to every Street Pass event and stuff. That's basically what I was trying to say at that. He's just super involved in Street Pass, so I think in one of my tweets I said, oh, this person probably shouldn't be representing Street Pass. Yeah, I said this person shouldn't be representing Street Pass, and he doesn't represent Street Pass. I hope not, given everything. This happens a few times. Basically, he spends about half the video talking about this, where this person sent me screenshots of their conversations with the Gaming Otter Nick, and it's Nick offering to fly them out to PAX, saying just weird things, wanting to make a tribute video of them, trauma dumping to them. This is one of the screenshots that was used to get him rebanned, that like I sent to speedrun.com. Like, hey, do you guys see this? Where it's him all the way in December talking about me still, and talking about wanting to talk to me and being in awe of my content, and it's like really unsettling. And this is all conversations with that person, who is a minor. This is all gonna be linked down below. So he spends a lot of time talking about that, and regardless of what his intent was or what the person's age was, as a content creator online, when you have an audience of younger fans, you have a responsibility to do your due diligence when talking to people. And you talk to people a lot, it looks like, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with making friends with your fans, but you have to be diligent about it and specific about it, because something like this could happen. And the thing he uses to excuse himself is saying that this person lied about their age. And you know what he uses to say that they lied about their age? Their Tomodachi Life me. This was his proof of their age. To saying that their me was born in 2000. This could be a few things, because Nintendo accounts probably required that you were an adult, but my guess is that they just set their me to be an adult because in Tomodachi Life, you can't have relationships, I'm pretty sure. You might be able to, but you can't get married or have kids in Tomodachi Life if you are a child, because there's a distinction between child and grown up. Why am I even having to talk about this? They said they were an adult in Tomodachi Life in one of their QR codes for their me, and this is what he uses as his excuse for saying that they lied about their age. Insane. I think here he was saying that when he was looking at this document, and he was saying that it is about the world record. Me doing all of this is about getting the world record and not having competition. And he's speaking for me, saying, of course it was about the world record and not having competition. And it's just like, why is he able to speak for me and what made me uncomfortable? Again, I mean, I wasn't gonna do all this, but, you know, everybody I talked to about it said I should. But, you know, you're never gonna believe me, and I can't, like, show you hard evidence of my feelings? I don't know. It's not worth talking about. Right? He's always gonna say it was about the world record and that it was not about me feeling uncomfortable. Talks a little bit about my identity and how I'm trans randomly, because it does come up later, actually. I didn't know that at the time. I know he I don't remember what this was. Oh, okay. Yeah, he said he never wanted to talk to me, and this is proved incorrect by especially this screenshot from December where he was saying he still wanted to talk to me. Still saying I'm gatekeeping. He says a lot that I called him ugly. And you know what? I can see how he got that from this, because I said I don't want to jump scare people with his face. A little bit of a mean wording here, especially used in what's supposed to be a professional document. I understand that. Never my intention to call him ugly, and he uses that a lot. His times are still on the leaderboard, is a thing I do want to mention. If we were to go here, I'm not removing, I still have a worse time than him here. Now, of course, there is the argument that because he can no longer do that, then now I'm going to start doing runs. And I will start doing runs, but not because of that, because I feel comfortable doing it now. At least a little bit. honestly, it feels like it might have the reverse effect where I'm gonna get harassed more by him and his brother's 20 alt accounts. But, you know, I feel vindicated, justified, I guess. It makes me feel more comfortable. And that's what this is all about. And, like, you can keep his record and stuff like Find Me. That game is Omega dead. But that's not about, we're not here to talk about speedrunning. We're here to talk about everything else. This is a great note from me. It was just like my notes in high school. Useless, excuse me. Here he was talking about this, and how he was saying speedrunning is not a method of harassment or making somebody feel uncomfortable. How would you feel if somebody you felt weirded out by came back, like you blocked, and you want nothing to do with, just came out of nowhere 2 months later and is trying to actively get your attention? Doesn't come off very well, and that's what it came off to me. I was like, this is really weird and uncomfortable, which I already said. And I didn't stop him right away, like, from competing. And it was never my intention to stop him. He's trying to say, like, oh, I'm trying to block him from competing right away. We traded the world record back and forth for, like, 3 to 4 months in Find Me 2 and Find Me 1. I competed with you. And it wouldn't have been an issue, again, if you just didn't try to interact with me. You know, if you just did the speedruns without trying to get my attention and stuff, and having you and your brother in my comment section and other people's comment section saying stuff, it wouldn't have been a big deal. Yeah. And here it's super random. So I mentioned that he has, in like the whole cheating thing, he has 11 3DSs. And he kept saying I was cheating for using homebrew. So I bring up the fact that he has 11 3DSs, and in order to make it a fair playing field, everybody else uses homebrew. People always used homebrew before he even started doing runs, because it used to be a play coin run, and obviously speedrunning Street Pass games is very inaccessible. It's very inaccessible because play coins and tags for runs that require 10 people in a line or a gate or that sort of thing. And for a long time, we didn't know how to manipulate that stuff with homebrew, and we did other methods, but either way, they were always allowed by the rules. And I never said anywhere it was against the rules for him to have 11 3DSs. That's what he's saying here at 1420. I never said that. All this is saying is it is justifying how people use homebrew to do runs usually. And I was saying otherwise it'd be impossible to compete with people like Gaming Otter who own that many 3DSs legitimately. That's all that was about. I never said he was breaking the rules for that. This is where he was on a whole tangent about taking my word for something, because there's a link that was deleted right here. All this was trying to prove the existence of your brother, which we have long done. This link being deleted, it's so irrelevant compared to everything else. Here he makes a few excuses for his brother. Now, this doesn't feel right, because I don't have all the screenshots prepared about his brother, and his brother really isn't a part of this. So, I'm just gonna say briefly, I don't want to say it, because this is wrong of me. This is wrong of me to say, so I'm not gonna say it. His brother has harassed us to no ends, but I'm just gonna skip over it. What he says here doesn't excuse his brother's behavior, but I am sorry to hear it, and it doesn't feel right talking about it. So, I'm gonna move on, because this would not be right of me, and I do not feel comfortable doing that. I mentioned this already briefly when we got to the section of the document where he goes on this whole thing about me's homelands and cheating. I've already explained that timing-wise, it is a negligible amount, if anything at all, because my me's name was still 4 characters. You know, maybe it was a little bit faster, and his frame timing was correct. Even then, I ended up switching. And I'm not trying to justify, I don't know, he's gonna frame it as me trying to cheat no matter what. I ended up switching off to Mi's from Peru because Miwi finally had a save file with it. I was like, please give me that so they stop harassing me, and I'll prove that I'm, these times are not because I'm cheating, and I wasn't cheating. Words are hard, man. It was to prove, it was 1, to get them to stop harassing me in the comments, and 2, to prove that I wasn't getting the time. It was to prove that the homeland being blank wasn't the thing getting me the record, that I could get it regardless, and I did get it regardless. And we kept trading, we traded on back and forth records, like I said. A little bit hard to explain that. This was talking about Luminosity makes big moves, and now he was using a VOD of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 to prove that I was making it public when that's like a really obscure VOD of a really obscure game. So that's weird. I already explained how he said, yeah, this was him talking about how I said it was a private event when, as we can see here, it's a, no, we don't need the wind music. We don't need that either. I just put on a random playlist. Yeah, it was never a private event. I've already talked about that. Again, he just doesn't see it. He doesn't see an issue with the fact that, you know, I've already said, like, please don't talk to me. You don't, yeah, I'm not comfortable with this. And he still doesn't see an issue with doing all of this. And he just randomly starts talking about Street Pass Love, Shane. And I'm like, who the hell is Shane? He wanted to talk about the panel and how Shane wronged him. And like, this has nothing to do with me, but he tries to make it about me by saying Shane is out to defend me, but we'll get to that when he gets to that in my notes. Right, his most recent ban. He showed an email that said, we have banned you for continuous off-site harassment and transphobia. Now, what I sent the speedrun.com mods during PAX was this. I sent them a few of these screenshots. And only one of those screenshots... Actually, it's not here. I can go find it real quick, because I think that's important for me to go find it real quick. So let me go do that really quickly. Basically, it was a screenshot where it looks like he is making fun of my pronouns, and him and both Robert have done this. She really like, here's the thing, he says, though, now that I'm looking at it, the way he phrases this is so wrong. Throughout the video, he says that this is not him being rude, it's him trying to correct himself to properly use my pronouns. My pronouns are they, she. She, they, whichever order. And here, he does not misgender me. He says, she plays really dirty. Oh, my bad, she, they. This is not correct. You're correcting yourself from already being correct. Saying both of them like that is just super disingenuous, and everybody that has seen it, including myself, takes it a different way than maybe how you interpreted that. But when I talk to the speedrun.com moderators, I only said, here's him being rude about my pronouns only after this message. It wasn't my main point, and I didn't think they would include it in the reason of their ban, but you know what, they're kind of, like, looking back at this, they're kind of right. What I sent them was mostly this, which you ignored it entirely in your video. Their email said harassment, continued harassment / transphobia. And because the continued harassment is all here, mainly this screenshot, which I mentioned briefly earlier, where this is all the way in December, late December, and he's still talking about wanting to talk to me and meet with me, and I was like, really weird. So, I don't have as much communication of the speedrun.com staff as you think. There's a difference between leaderboard moderators and speedrun.com site staff. And we'll get to being a leaderboard mod in a bit, because he brings that up and tries to use it against me. And is just very wrong about it. He says I tried to launch a homophobic campaign against him. Again, this is the sort of thing that he's never gonna admit to being wrong about. This, only caring about the world record, that sort of stuff, he's never gonna, this is why I don't wanna, this is the end. This video is all I'm gonna say, and there's no point in continuing further. He pulls up this. It was one of the comments on Mibi's thing. And Robert says that, oh, you hacked your systems, I guess it's fair. Oh, you're a leaderboard mod. This is in response to Mibi, not me. And he goes on this whole thing, he like starts getting really emotional about the fact that I'm a moderator and that I have rigged the deck. And let me just show you. This is the wrong tab. September, I only got added as a moderator for Find Me 2 yesterday. These are my speedrun.com notifications. I'll refresh it to prove that it's not inspected elemented. Cabasco has been added to Find Me 2 as a moderator. You have been added to Find Me 2 as a moderator. And if we go to Find Me 1, I'm not a moderator. It's just Mibi. And they're responding to Mibi because this is about Find Me 1. It's literally like, you can see right here, I'm not a moderator for Find Me. And I wasn't even a moderator for Street Pass games until after this, I believe. So, and I was never a moderator for any Find Me games, which is what was relevant here, until yesterday. And I guess he saw that and freaked out? I don't know. So that's the proof of that. This is going on longer than I thought, but we're almost done. He brings up Plain Rock here and there, and I just wanted to say, I didn't use Plain Rock in any of my Google Docs or things I sent to speedrunner.com. I mentioned it briefly on my tweets because people kept saying to me, excuse me, that this was a problem, and then this is what started the whole thing with everybody, like the person who sent me these screenshots coming to me and being like, I'm done, I'm gonna send you everything I have, was because they called Nick out for inviting Plain Rock, but I guess Plain Rock was not invited by Nick, it was invited by Street Pass Love. Again, who the hell was Shane, is what I kept thinking to myself. They're apparently Street Pass Love. And here he says that Street Pass Love is in cahoots with me, and is working to sabotage the panel. I'm almost like, what? So, or like, he said, music is a perfect description of what's going on right now. He says, as far as I can understand, because of this one screenshot, if I can reopen that, this screenshot, apparently this is Street Pass Love. And here's them defending me on March 30th. And he's trying to say all this stuff about me and Street Pass Love, but I had never messaged them until the start of March, where I was talking about Midwest Speed Fest. And I can show you my message history. How can I cut off the left side of this? I guess I'll just have to take a screenshot. Well, I'm just trying to think about how to show this. I'm just gonna start taking screenshots, but that'll take a long. I just want to scroll through it. You know what? I have an idea. We're just gonna do this. There we go. Okay, so I messaged him on March 1st talking about Midwest Speed Fest, where I have a speedrun for Find Me 2 at. And I'm just gonna scroll through it slowly. They're talking about, oh, should I retweet this, yada yada yada, and I'm messaging them about I'm messaging them about the speedrun at Midwest Speed Fest. And I'm just asking if it can get promoted, because it's a cool thing, and yeah, blah 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 blah. And then, nothing. That's the only interaction we had between March and April. It's just talking about Midwest Speed Fest. And then I want to ask about PAX, because I'm a little bit concerned about things. And then, on July 26th, like, pretty recently, is when I finally messaged them about everything that's been happening. I had no conversations with this person or interactions, and he's trying to he says he has the DMs and he doesn't show anything, he just makes shit up. It's really weird. So, yeah, he talks about that for a while. He says I harassed his panelists. I DM'd his panelists very amicably the information that I had, because I was trying to make people aware of it. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. He's still talking about PAX and the screenshots from this thing. And, again, everything depends on him knowing Evil's age. Like I said at 20 minutes ago. Good, this has gone on for a while, goodness. He has a responsibility as a content creator to ensure certain things about the fans that he talks to and makes friends with. So I've already gone into, depth about that. The fact that he's saying they lied about their age and trying to use their Tomodachi life age is still insane to me. Crazy thing to say. What you intend, this is him trying to push onto me how I felt. What he intends is different from what people actually feel. This is a whole lot of, it's just me writing random notes so I can remember. He's just getting super upset because we don't see things the way he does. He's saying that in these screenshots, the person is trying to defend me and wants me to win, but again, I never even talked to this person until March, when you first got banned from speedrunner.com, and they reached out to me. Again, these people reached out to me. I didn't go looking for anybody, except for the case of your panelists, where I was trying to raise awareness. He goes into this big emotional outburst saying I was at his panel at PAX. And his evidence is that my me was street passed at his panel. I have at least 4 different people that can corroborate this. I wasn't even at the venue. I was at my hotel room because I felt really uncomfortable even going to the venue during that time. One of my friends offered to go that I was staying at the hotel room with. One of my friends went, and my friend brought my 3DSs with them because I wanted to street pass people at PAX because there wasn't a lot of people to street pass, and I love street pass. I did not go to your panel. Don't say that I'm cheating PAX and PAX staff and making a mockery of them because even though you told them about me, I slipped past them like some sort of like assassin. I wasn't even there, and I have many people that can corroborate that. I was still in my hotel room. I never went to the venue until like an hour or two. I think I didn't go until like early evening that day, but I wasn't even there, and I have many people that can like corroborate that. Somebody brought my 3DSs with them, and even if I was there and not like in the venue, not at your panel, do you understand how Street Pass works? That I could have been just walking by like the room and I still could have Street Passed you. But I'm just being full up front. One of my friends went, they offered to go, and I gave them my 3DSs because I wanted to Street Pass people. That's it. This is talking about the transphobia thing. He's trying to make it out like this whole thing. Like, again, I only had the one screenshot and I only brought it up once to speedrun.com staff. You're ignoring the other half of the email where they say continuing to harass people on the site, off the site. I forgot the wording. He randomly messages that Street Pass love is helping me cheat. I don't know. It was weird wording. And he goes into this whole emotional like thing about being bullied and harassed. He makes the whole video about him. And you know, honestly, I put it all out there. Everything's gonna be linked in description. This feels dumb. There wasn't really much of a point to doing. There was a point, obviously. He keeps hiding the comments, like, on his tweets and on his community post, where I finally tried to talk to him. I finally replied directly to a community post, trying to link stuff and say like this is wrong, and he hides the comments, or maybe YouTube automatically hid them, and I've always been hid from this channel. So this video's purpose is just to put everything out there. I tried to not talk about stuff that there wasn't any concrete proof for. I just used the screenshots, and it was mostly just a response to everything. I guess I can go through this really quickly. We were posturizing, like, that he is doing predatory behavior, and because, you know, that video 7 years ago had slight, like, proof of prior behavior, but I didn't want to use it, so I didn't end up even linking it here, because I didn't think it was valid evidence. So I just linked the conversations here, where he's talking to a high schooler, wanting to say, like, hey, I wish I could get you to PAX, all this stuff. The tribute video, like I briefly mentioned before, and then this is mostly him talking about me to this person, which is what I sent to speedrunner.com during PAX, and what they ultimately deemed to be enough to reinstate your ban. I have been fully transparent about what I sent to speedrunner.com, and what I have said to people. This is a link to my other documents, trying to show a pattern of behavior. This is him learning that this person is a minor and still wanting to meet up with them and stuff. To be fair, he was trying to say, like, are your parents there? I still think it was pretty weird. It's not what I personally would do in that situation. This is a conversation with a 14-year-old. This person reached out to me on Twitter and, like, said, like, Gaming Otter sent me this stuff. It's weird. I didn't feel comfortable. So I'm sending it to me. And this is them confirming this fact. So yeah, there's a lot of, honestly, really tired of all this. I know I'm never gonna convince Gaming Otter or his brother's 30 alt accounts. And from here I'm done. There's nothing else to show. Like, you know, I'm just showing what I have screenshots of, what there's like evidence of. You know, I was just responding to all these different points. I'm gonna link everything down below, and I just want to say, like, don't go out of your way to harass this person. Because this was never, I do admit during PAX it turned into a little bit of a witch hunt, and I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of how I did my tweets, and I probably should have just stuck to the evidence-based ones. It doesn't mean I'm taking back what I've said, obviously, because all of this still stands. Don't go harass the Gaming Otter. I just felt obligated to at least put out this one thing covering everything. Yeah, I'll probably have a pinned comment trying to explain all this in, like, the context and just saying, don't do this, or this is what the video's about. Thanks for everybody who reached out to me after I came out in public about all of this. And yeah, he's banned from Cino.com now, and that's it. Let's just leave it at that, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't think this, personally, my personal opinion is I don't think he should be allowed to host the future panels at PAX. Not that I think that there probably won't be panels from now on, but, my personal opinion and my personal feelings, they're not relevant if they don't have the evidence. And the evidence is all of this, so, like, my personal feelings do have evidence, but it's not like they should be used in that way. They shouldn't be used as, like, a method of getting him canceled or whatever. I'm just trying to get the information out there. People can interpret it how they want. I don't know. I just should end the video before I say more random stuff that has nothing to do with anything. Sorry again, everybody. Or not. I was putting it out there. Goodbye.